Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us on the Ubuntu channel. This is Ubuntu Lifestyle. We are live every Monday and we talk about various issues. And this particular week, we are looking at the onset of the rain season. What should you expect with this rain season that is just about to start? Today, the weather has been beautiful in Lusaka and surrounding areas, beautiful weather. We're hearing stories that Chirundu already has received their first rains. We are hearing many places, actually, the Copper Belt, they are with the rains. Even Southern province, we are still waiting for the rains. All the same, comes back to the same. What should you necessarily expect when you are in the rain season, especially Lusaka, ndipo bovuta maningi. Remember, this is Lawrence, and I want you to, I would love you to actually interact with me as we go through this journey where we are looking at things that happen in Lusaka when it comes to the rain season. Let's just go straight into it. And let me ask my producer, just give us one clip and then we pick it up on the other side.
Alibevuke mbalimbali chayo kirenje mkati mabasi ayo kirenje mabasi kirenje mkati mabasi ayo alibevuke mbalimbali chayo kirenje mkati mabasi ayo kirenje mabasi kirenje mkati
Papu for 5 kwacha. All these things happen in Lusaka when the rain season comes. Now, this program actually is just out there to remind us of exactly what happens when the rain season in Lusaka just starts and when things just get past vula every now and then. These are some of the things that we expect, and well, I don't know if any of you has ever been given that kind of a lift for a fee in Lusaka by these homeboys that we have working around town. They are very much well equipped. Obviously, this time around, they are buying themselves those gumboots. They have the raincoats, they have the umbrellas and things like that, and they're waiting for the rains to start, and they know you will need them. Apamuba pontera, you ignore them and things like that. But when the rains start, you definitely need them, and they will charge you for a papu. I don't know, you guys, how things happen like that, and how exactly how much exactly they manage to raise. I think this is one of the sector of people that I feel one day we should have on this particular program, and I'll make sure I bring one of these guys onto the program so they can share with us exactly how this business actually works and how much maybe per day they manage to make. Now, remember, I would also want to hear from you if you have ever needed that particular lift, papu for 5 kwacha or papu for 2 kwacha or papu for 1 kwacha. If you have ever needed that lift, please just drop a comment in the comment section and let me know exactly where it happened and where you needed that. Now, remember, I've just been joined by my colleague that is Himba. Himba, good evening, and thank you so much for coming into the studio. Himba, are you able to hear me out there?
Yes.
Okay, your mic seems muted. Please kindly unmute your mic so that we can have a conversation or in this place. Himba, are you able to hear me?
Now I can hear you, Lawrence. How are you?
I'm all right. And how are you?
Not bad. Mwalila.
Sanafie. I think you can see I'm putting on some weight.
Mhm.
I don't
Sawa
know if you have
nimezoa
seen the
Lawrence. Tuache.
I don't know if you have seen the video that we just played.
No. I was actually struggling to get into the studio. My internet is not really good today.
Let me ask the producer to just give us the clip one more time, just one more time, so that Himba can get to see some of the things that happen in Lusaka in the rain season. I don't know if Himba you have ever received this one, but let the producer play this video, then we can have a conversation on the other side.
Alibe fruto mbalimbali chayo kirenje mkati mabasi hayo kirenje mabasi kirenje mkati mabasi hayo.
Himba, that's a papu for 5 kwacha in Lusaka when the rains flood. Have you ever received that lift? Okay, seemingly Himba is not able to have a conversation currently. Or Himba, are you there?
I don't know Lawrence, but I'm having connect.
Okay, let's give Himba a chance to actually log out of the studio, and then she'll join us back on, and then we can continue with the program. This point in time, let me ask my producer just take us to the next video, because it's just going to be interesting. It's exciting to have a rain season in Zambia, most especially in Lusaka, where we seem to have so many floods, and it's like it's Kuomboka ceremony over and over again every year. We know these things are going to happen. No matter what, we know they are going to happen. Let's just ask the producer to just give us another video, and then we can move on from there.
Look at her. See where she's going, right? Hey! Look at, she's still going, right? Look at Onan.
Thank you so much for keeping me company, and thank you so much for sticking with us. Now, this one exactly, this one is actually just a reminder to all road users there. Himba, are you able to have a conversation?
I don't know if you can hear me.
Loud, loud and clear.
Okay, Natotel.
All right. So Himba, we just played two clips there. One of them is actually showing what the right thing is to do when you are a motorist and the rains are just too much and the visibility is bad. What do you do as a motorist there? Okay. Again, we are unable to have a conversation with Himba, but what we see actually in those clips, the first clip, to be precise, is a situation where you as a motorist cannot see exactly where you are going. Please, it is important that we learn to park. Remember, your safety is what we are concerned about at this point in
Hi,
time.
Rollins.
Okay, Himba, are you able now to have a conversation?
I think so, I am.
Okay, we are trying to
Alex,
educate. We are trying to educate the motorists out there what to do exactly when the visibility is not so much good in terms of the rains. Uh, the issue of parking when you know you cannot see properly where you are going. How important and how effective is it, Himba?
Uh, Thank you so much, Lawrence. Lya mayinza yalibako sensitive and yalibako. I mean, it's a sensitive and very dangerous thing. But I think to listen, we've taken it lightly in our country. Because, like, even in most cases, we don't even bother to check on the weather when you're starting your day. How is the weather like? Okay, sometimes abantu kuti balanda tawe. Sometimes ngawa checking a weather taiba it can be accurate, but I think it would help you to plan your day in one way or another. It's just cardinal that you check how your weather be, because one, you need to plan your route. Where are you going? Nalapita kuisa nalaenda shani. You need to plan all those. It's actually very dangerous. However, we are so grateful for the rain season. As Zambia, as a nation, that's when we know that our food basket yala balance. Hello tulima, that's the time for us to farm. That's the time for us to grow our crops and the like. But it also has its own side effects, which as human beings we should take into consideration. We are talking about the motorist. In the first place, before we even talk about the rains, tula checking amatires yasatawa amatire yarishani before tatulatampa okwenda. Cause mu rain season motoka ilatereringi pamusebo. Mwalasanga ati imotoka taikweta amatire, mwachecking ama brakes tire ikata bwino, all that. As much as you think you can manage your vehicle kwali bambala mfano kufa neka motoka kanaliko eshiba bwino tunake kadama breki that kampitirire, that kind of thing. You are forgetting that you are actually putting your own life in danger and the lives of other road users in danger. So by you taking that route, you're actually messing it all. And then when you've seen the rains, twalipusana n'amenso kwali baba munfula imubala muna bwino bamutaba muna bwino ndi kwali bafya enfula yakati bonze vitamule muna bwino. Why can't you park? You just have to park where you feel it's safe. You don't have to park anywhere. You have to park where you think it's safe according to your judgment. And hope judgment at that particular time is going to give you accurate judging. In Bemba Waland at life kuisunga wemwini, As much as you are saying, it depends also the kind of a car you have. I'm a 4x4. Yala kwanshok Peter. They would pass anywhere or but it's better to be safe than sorry. And don't put the lives of other road users in an awkward position. Pantrole nsinga bamibika like ulensha motoka ama break taikweta ama taira yalipwa limbi na wipers tayale bombana bwino ero uleya fiero now ikatirana kulika steering. You're even trying to look padia punch padia when you are wiping. Just know that you're putting your own life in danger and the lives of other road users in danger. If you are to what yachfuma motoka mumsebo yayapunka abana yayapunka baleshtisha, I mean, love yourself and also love the other road users.
Okay. Also, we can talk of the issue of switching on the lights when the visibility is also bad to enable other road users to see you that you are there. That is also very important. Remember, if it's raining or there is so much mist and things like that, please ensure that your lights are turned on so that even other road users who are coming, who want to shipikisha in that reduced visibility scene, to want to continue driving, they should be able to know there is a vehicle in front, there is a vehicle behind me, or things like that. And the only way they can be able to notice and spot you is by turning on your lights. Even if Nemuzuba, when there's these storms come, obviously it reduces so much visibility. It becomes like Neusiku. So the lights will actually give the other road users a chance to know that you are there, the privilege and the opportunity to know that you are there so that they can know how to maneuver around with you in the picture. But Himba,
not
let
full
me
beam. Full avikapa, not full beam. Bamubala avikapa full beam when batamposta disturb abantu.
We can talk about pedestrians as well. We saw in the second clip a pedestrian crossing the road and finding herself in the drainage, because you cannot tell where the drainage is, where the road ends, where this is where, because the whole place is covered with water. Himba, how do you advise pedestrians now in this case?
First and foremost, Lawrence, for Tatoranda Pama pedestrians, we also need to talk about our local authorities. You know that. Ama local authorities, I think imisebo yesu, bafuile by ama markings should be clear. You know what I mean? The markings should be clear for everyone to see. And also, they should also, if it's a danger zone, all those things should be put in danger. Ama caves, if it palaterela padia, it should have all that. But for us pedestrians, okay, sometimes tuwakwata ama situations yakwati yakusanga fia, motoka yakusanga, infla yakusanga kokokoli. There's nothing you could do. And then you are also desperate to go home, or you're also desperate to go for whatever activity you're going for. Is it an appointment? But then in every situation, first start by loving yourself. Think of the consequences. Sometimes it's better to be late, but you are safe. Sometimes it's even better not to go at all, but you are alive. But then you're going to force yourself to go. Wherefore, you won't even reach that appointment. You won't even get where you're going. So you really have it comes in each and every situation. You have to think of yourself first. Even the motorist, you have to love yourself when you're making a decision. Think of yourself first before you make the decision you want to make. But rain season, you're dangerous in each and every environment. It's a very dangerous and delicate situation.
Okay. So as a pedestrian, what I would add to what Himba has said is, as a pedestrian, please ensure that if the area is flooded, you can't even tell where the drainage is, where the road ends and things like that. Ensure that you identify landmarks that will help you at least determine to what extent the road ends. Don't walk into a place of where you are not sure of. You step in very confidently, you find yourself moving along in the drainage with storm water, which is something that we would not want to anybody to experience this particular rain season. Please ensure that you are stepping on grounds that you are sure of and places that you know exist. Do not assume the road ends up to there or the road is up to here or things like that. Ensure you identify landmarks, roads that you are very familiar with. In case of complete flooding, sometimes it is just important that you stay back. It will help everybody if you do that. Remember, we've had cases where people have gone along with stormwater in the drainages and things like that. Those happen especially when someone is not sure of where to step, where the road is, because you find yourself in a very deep drainage that is on the side of the road. You did not know that it was actually there. It is where it is the starting point of that drainage is actually where, and you find yourself in those drainages, and then water carries along with you. I think when I was preparing for this particular program, Himba, I actually saw the Lusaka fire station trying to remove someone from a drainage. The incident happened sometime in 2019, if I'm not mistaken. It was a very sad scene in Himba, and we do not want a repeat of things like that. Meanwhile, remember, you can also share your tips with other pedestrians and other road users in the comment section so that we can read them out for one or two people to learn something from this particular program. Let me ask the producer to just give us another clip and then we continue on the other side. We are back on the other side, and thank you so much for sticking with us. Now, this particular clip actually was taken in 2020, and these are those retirees who had camped at the Ministry of Justice looking for their terminal benefits and their retirement packages, which never seemed to come through. But we are not talking about that. What we're trying to talk about here is preparations for the rain season. Himba, you see these gallant men and women uh, who actually had to brave the rains in their pursuit for what they were demanding for, which were their terminal benefits. So, what I see here, Himba, is people who were actually ready for the rain season, and they managed to carry themselves umbrellas because you never know where the rains find you. It might find you when you're trying to find your something and you need to hold on for it, and you must be ready for it. Himba, come in.
It's we may be smiling about that clip, but honestly, I would say it's a very touching situation. It's a very emotional situation. I mean, our people shouldn't get to that level, As much as this is not our topic, but I would also take an opportunity to appeal to our government leaders that they should look after their people. It shouldn't get to that point where they become like, now it's do or die. We have to fight for this money. This is their money. They're not supposed to go through such when getting it. Anyway, that aside, yes, they prepared for the rains tama umbrella, but we thank God ili enfula yaishire sienze ikulu koze sembe enze ikulu sembe ajama umbrella si anasebenze. And again, from childhood in nakula knew that ingamvula yayamba, being under a tree is not the best, the safest option to do anyway, but at least they were able to do that, and at least there was a preparation at mvula ikatipeza tichitechani tingazishiteko umbrella. But for me, I'm just looking at it because there was I think there's desperation there. There's people are so desperate to retrieve their money. They've gone through a lot, so they could go through that situation. But if you can avoid such situations, avoid them. It's not worth it, because ijamvula, it's a very dangerous thing. We don't know kapena izabwera yononge vintu itiole vimtengo, you are under that tree. You don't know mweza nkalila strong izamitengani manzi, or even yajamene manzi yama that running water from the rains. That water is very contaminated. Some people open the bowels on the street. There are a lot of things, so you end up exposing yourself to a lot of infections. So if there's a situation you can avoid such a situation, I think for me, better avoid it, Rollins. But in such a situation, we know what our mothers, brothers, and sisters went through. That was, I think, maybe also to show the government. But if there is a chance for you to avoid such a situation, avoid it. Just avoid it and get another alternative for your own safety.
So, Himba, we are looking at the situation where you are traveling, you are moving from point A to point B. At least be able to carry an umbrella that will enable you to maneuver around in case there are those light rains which can be managed by an umbrella. It's not a good thing that we should be seeing people soaked. Imba, sometimes there is relay in town when it's about to rain and people are running to brave the rains. It's like we are training another Samuel Matete. People running away from the rains, 100 meters, kind of a sprint. So what we are trying to say is ensure that you are ready if you know that it's in the rain season and it's more likely to rain. Carry at least an umbrella to help you brave the
Even
rains.
the raincoat.
You can have a raincoat, and this one is actually very, very, very key for if you have school-going children. Ensure that you prepare them adequately for the rain season, especially in the onset. And it even becomes a little bit challenging in term one when they are opening and the rain is already in full throttle there. Where you must experience children going to school while it's still raining and maybe having to knock off while it's raining and things like that. You must be ready. So for children, at least an umbrella, a raincoat, and gum boots as well, if possible, they would really help. Is there anything I've left out? Himba?
Just in addition, Valore, I think for me, let's also take attendance, or let's have it as a habit. Yakula checking akopa Google to whether yalabashani lelo. As much as it may not be accurate, but it may help you in some circumstances. It's accurate anyway. It's just that but it also helps you if on that particular day. You are going, do I need really warm clothes? Do I really need cold clothes? What do I need? What kind of outfit am I in? Just go per Google, check, what is the weather today? Then it will tell you it will rain, it will be like this, and you'll be able at least, and even also to prepare our. And when we are talking about preparations, Rollins, we should also talk about Mumayanda. I am like we know where these floods have been happening. Just for me to go a little bit out of what we're talking about, these houses are flooded in areas, compounds where they are flooded. I think if you were hit with a flood last year, this year, please think of the option. as quickly as possible, because we know that you are always hit by the floods, you're always hit by the rains when it comes. So do something about it before imvula tailaisa tailaba serious, because namwikala mung'ando mune FP then imvula nga yaisa yaona ole FP abana they are little children, you are exposing them to that kind of harsh situations. We know bamakamba no benangu bamakamba no kamba ta ifo kuno twaikala if yaisa imvula ma floods fye eka enda abaana baleya ku school balepita mu mafloods ayo yene mumensha ali contaminated.
I think Himba, let's do this. We are getting to there. Let me ask the producer to give us the next story, and then we meet on the other side.
Okay.
Heavy rains experienced in Lusaka have led to floods in most parts of the city. People were spotted wading through the storm water as most of the inner roads were completely flooded. In Chipata Overspill, the flooded stream has overflown in people's yards, making it hard for people to access their houses. Joshua Kawaya, one of the affected, braved the rains and floods to reach out to the news crew.
The situation is, the problem which is there is the houses were wrongly put in. We need to change infrastructure situation.
Tikambako kuti boma changanileko manzi manyumba yangena maningi. So apa tidia kama konse sikupitika kuti ngopita mwe chimfolo chenchazula manzi kuyangena manyumba vintu vonongeka.
So monga lero bana ku skulu bauku sibanaende ku skulu amene wajumbira uko. Bauku sibanaende ku skulu. So nice tidandaula cheva tipangire chakude bombe.
From Tendere compound, several houses have been flooded, leaving men with no option but to start removing the water from the homes. And in Garden compound, the situation is not different from what is obtaining in other areas across the city. Juliet Tole and her family were found arranging household property from her flooded home.
So tipempa shuwa kuboma iti yanganirepo iti tandizireko nga kutipangirako cha bed drainage pamwe wakabe kupanga mseo vangatipangireko drainage cause manzi onani kulibe kwamene yaenda manzi.
And the Mandevu Member of Parliament Christopher Shakafuswa has pledged to engage government to help the flood victims.
How will their machines operate? The TVs, the fridges, all of this equipment has been damaged. So we are asking for government to come and partner with us to see what is on the ground, and let's provide some humanitarian relief.
According to the area MP, over 10 houses have been flooded in this community alone. Lucky Piri, ZNBC News, Lusaka.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget.
Okay, thank you so much for that particular clip. We just saw situations that have happened in Lusaka, and this is not particular to any. But this is not just visible in one particular rain season, but it just happens almost every year. And we can see people fighting with storm water from their houses. We can talk of storm water in the roads. We can talk of everywhere. Everywhere, it's just messed up like that. Himba, are we ever going to graduate from this situation? First and foremost. Okay, Himba is seemingly not with us, but first and foremost, I think let us look at this from a humanitarian point of view. It is very sad to see our brothers and sisters losing properties in that manner, being disturbed in their houses where they're supposed to have rest and peace and order, but stormwater going into their houses. Now, the question always comes up is, why does it seem to happen every year, every year, every year? It's like we never get ready for it. Himba, we are never prepared for it at any particular point. And I can tell you that even this rain season, there are some houses somewhere which are going to be in the water. Himba.
On this situation, Lawrence, I'm also blaming the government. Why am I blaming the government? Because nga like imfula ukukwa alama floods nga nikwa, if it was in Mrs. where there were floods, the next, like this season, let the local authorities go in there, sensitize the people, because sometimes oko babika amayanda abantu oko bakula, they are not even the places where people would build houses, and even the water tables are quite high. An ordinary person would not understand. Even me, I would not understand. Water tables, we've seen people barakula na mayanda pamuli ama pipe. So the local authorities should come in. What are the local authorities doing when abantu bale kula mayando? Are they sensitizing people? When abantu excuse me, when people are abantu nga balekula amayanda plan, who approves the plans? If the plans are not approved, let's not allow people to build for their own theft. I know people are going to say, no, the government,
In most cases, Himba, especially in these unplanned settlements, just like the name says, unplanned, it means that there are houses and plots that were acquired, and even the council does not even know that there is a house being built or anything like that. People just wake up and start building houses and things like that. Then it happens. The next thing the government will hear is, no, boma iranganepo standizeko. How really do you blame the government on situations like this?
You've already said this is unplanned settlement. And I believe in the local councils, we have the inspectors. What do they inspect? And how many times do they do their rounds? Because if they inspect, they're able to see that this is an illegal structure which is here, which needs to be cleared. Or the moment in kukula. Because as you are saying, Lawrence, if we check, in this unplanned settlement, you get my point. But if all in these big areas, they've been occupied by illegal settlers. What do the inspectors do? That's my question. What do the inspectors do? What is their job? Unless you're telling me that council tatwakwata ama inspectors. These issues of the communities, we've got councillors. What are the councillors doing? I'm sure the councillor should know their area like the palm of their hand. And when you're a leader, it doesn't mean that you have to allow any nonsense that happens. There are sometimes you make harsh decisions in the best interest of your people. It's not there are decisions you have to make that will make you unpopular, but it will be for their own safety and benefit. So we've got the council. What is the duty of the council? I'm going to divert a little bit. Mulasangwa apa shwiro kitisha obwalwa bale kitisha obwalwa. But we've got the inspectors. What is their job? The inspectors should move out of those offices that are council ko baba comfortable. There's a period there baba temwa civil servants, a cup of tea. Your cup of tea tabamisa. They've gone for tea. So can they reduce that hour? Bantu wasanga tumuntu 10 ele kuti. I don't even know what they report in their reports. If they inspect our community, if they go into our areas and see what happens. I don't even think they do that, Roland. So if they start doing that, they'll be able to see. And then I think the other way to develop the nation is to move with people. Sensitize people. If there's any decision, anything, talk to them, sensitize them. If they don't move with you, that's when now you use an aggressive way of doing it. At the end of the day, it will be for the best interest of every Zambian.
Okay, that's pretty much interesting. Now, Himba, we also see in that particular report where we are being told about school children failing to cross, because remember the the road seems to be flooded, and there are schools on both sides of the road, and children from one particular side can't go to the school on the other side, can't really do that, and the other way around also applies. Now, when we reach that stage, to what extent do we need intervention from the government? Because it's very clear that places like that need bridges. To what extent do we apportion? Do we cry to the government? And what exactly can communities do together to ensure that some of these issues are mitigated?
First and foremost, one thing we should learn as the citizen in Kuganza Kwanga, we should stop depending on the government all the time. I'm so glad and I'm so happy that there's this CDF that has gone straight into the local leaders or local authorities, because the owner of the community or the owner of these areas, they basically understand what is their need, what is their priority, and they'll be able to make decisions. I'm telling you, by now, Ishiyama bridges, especially in the areas where there's school, there's a hospital, there's a market. Those, essentials for the human, for essentials for the community. We should have had these basics to access those facilities. There's no way bana baenda kuma school palibe bridge. Kuli hospital pali pali apa pamankala manzi palibe napo pits ambulance. You get those things. There's a market, there's a trading area there. It's very difficult for people to access it. So these are the things that by now, as we are in the 20th century, such basic needs, we should have had them. And this is why we let our political leaders get away with things. The councillor comes and during the dry season, when rain season comes, they stop coming, and then they are safe, and then we let them go. Let's make them accountable. Let's make them accountable, because they are priorities, and we have to look into the safety of our young people. Muzapeza abana bafuna enda kusulu waindo jumpa tuma streams which are very dangerous on their part. Waindo jumpa bana bakula tumitengo. It's really a very sad situation. So as Zambian people, it's high time, one, we have to unite and bring our leaders to the point that they have to be accountable. And now, since we've got this TCDF, let's use it correctly, and let's use it to the benefit of every community member. And especially, let's look at the interest ya bana first. Like kuma school, it's very sad. Mwana banaenda na mvula, bana benzochoka huku, the kids were struggling to cross the river, or katinyanika stream kwa bana bali. It's really, really, really sad. And these are the things we should be priority, especially now. Me, I don't understand, like this rain season, akaka stream kenzeka problem, or drainage was a problem. You are going to find Peter again next year, it will be the same problem. What kind of leadership do we have? Because if there was a problem this year, after this rain season, next year should not be a problem. That situation should be sorted out, and it becomes an emergency. That's my thinking, Lawrence. I don't know if you're Fimona, but netafimpangilapo sensi.
Actually, it's one thing that I always talk about. It's like, in fact, for a particular area to be worked on, in these cases mostly, it mostly has to take something to happen. We have a calamity. No, bana banaenda na manzi. That's when we see people running around to ensure that that particular situation is rectified. I think, which is not the case. The producer had given us a certain photo. I'm asking for it back because it pertains to also some other causes of floodings in the houses, and this has to do with the type of roofs that we have put across. Ladies and gentlemen, even if we are building and we're trying to save costs on building, please, 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 when you try to do these so-called hidden roofs, I know they are cheaper, I know they are most economical and things like that. Well, ensure that at least you get people who actually know what they are doing. Because if you get this one wrong, it's going to be a problem for you and your family year in, year out when the rains start. You start hating the rain season because you have situations where water is leaking into your household, just like we can see on that particular picture. Now, when I say you use people who actually know what they are doing, I mean professionals, please. I insist. There is a lot that is involved when it comes to ensuring that water is not seeping through your walls when it comes to these particular hidden roofs. There is a lot that needs to be done. There is a lot more than what meets the eye to ensure that water is completely blocked. Mostly, we have problems where the walls and the roof starts from. Just at this particular point, is where we usually have problems, and those problems can be a nightmare, Mwebantu. Hey, you can see this particular picture. You obviously you can even feel it for the occupants of this particular house, where they have to fight these rains. And sometimes maybe you can see the mappings of water on the walls, but for others it actually reaches a stage where it starts to drip in, like dropping and dropping and dropping, depending on how heavy the rains are. So please, if you are building, save yourself these kinds of headaches going into the rain seasons. And if you have done this before and you know that your roof is giving you problems, it's time that you have your roof checked by people who can help you. Please, we insist on that one. Ensure that your roof is checked so that we minimize problems in terms of you having sleepless nights. You have to start moving your beds. No bed kuli chiwumba kuchiwumba chimanana, so let's move the bed kusaidi and things like that. Those are the things that we call kuomboka ceremony, where you have to run away from the floods to go to some dry places and things like that. We are advising you strongly as Ubuntu channel, because we love you, because we have you at heart. Ensure that your roof is checked if it is giving you those kinds of problems. But all hope is not completely lost, Himba. Let me ask my producer to just give us another photo, so that we can just browse it through. We spoke about this one. It's a papu kind of a thing. Himba, obviously, I was asking you at the start of the program, have you ever gotten this kind of a ride? Himba, your mic is muted. I'm asking you, have you ever gotten this kind of a ride? Especially
I've
Kuj.
Kuma City Market. I've uh,
Mhm.
I've never had an opportunity to or a privilege to enjoy this comfortable ride, but I've seen people going through it. In me, naturally, I've got a serious phobia na mesh. So when I'm fula, I would rather stay away. Even if I'm driving, na muna fula ya fula, me I park. I don't take those risks. I would rather go and park up on Amunat Padiko safe. I've got serious phobia with water. But this ride and now look, this is what we're talking about. I like this innovation by the young people here making money. You're thinking we should be having a Zambian that opo mle monefko opo bale baonere hapo imumuona hapo drama where there's dirty, people think there's dirty, you see money. This is a very good mindset. But however, this is a situation by now should have been history. I think this situation has been happening for years and years, from the time we were kids up to now. Naifetakula tzanga na mazukuru zabala, all that. So how do you have such a situation for years and years? And these are trading areas, you know. These are trading areas. By now, how many government have we had? And this has never been a priority. And as the Zambian people, we've not even bothered to advocate for it. Tima vipanga cha ikafika rain season taenda batipa pako just like that. And life goes on like that. These are the things we should have been putting our leaders into account. They should tell us why they are not making the drainage system, or why they are not even putting measures to make sure that the drainage systems are well looked after. The local authorities, where are they? This is where we want them to work. This is where we want them to see. I mean, to our monat ababa kanswapa. And you are going to find that in such areas, number drainages but they are not well maintained. So this is where we, the Zambian people, should take our leaders into account. If you for years, these things are happening. We need you to come in and correct this situation. Such situations in the areas like of trading. Lawrence,
Let me ask the producer to just give us the next photo because we are just browsing through so that we can wind up. Let me ask my producer to just give us the next photo if possible. This is actually somewhere in Freedom Way, and Himba, imagine you are a shop owner in this kind of a situation. Like, how do you even have customers on days like this?
Lawrence, in a fifiaso like Apanomba, vacanso variquisation delanda, because these shop owners, they make a lot of money. And this is where I'm saying it's not all the time we have to say the government. What is their contribution about shop? Because these people can just come together.
They pay trading levies to the council. They pay various kinds of levies and for licenses. Trading licenses and things like that to the council. And services like this are what the council should offer in return. It's not just about collecting money.
I totally agree. That's a very valid point. But on the other hand, again, Lawrence, mukasanga tinokuposa drainages ukubalaposa. I know building apapa building mukasanga muri building balaposa. They allow in the past we used to have street vendors. You know what I mean? So it's also their responsibility to make sure that their trading area is taken care of properly. Now, what is their contribution? Okay, guys, if we have a problem today, despite these levies we are collecting, despite us working with the government hand in hand, how are we going to correct this situation? You get my point? Let them also get involved. And this habit, no, the council should do this, the council should do this. No, let also, even them, they should come in. And our council, this is now where the inspectors also come in. Because mukasanga, pali ifikomu, mwine mula ifikomu, bale sule fuma box, bale bika panshi. What measures have they put in place to correct the situation? And by council, these are the problems. And this situation, it's not only happening. This is not its first time to happen. It has been happening. Why haven't they corrected it? As citizens, we should also learn to sue our council. We should be suing our council. We can sue the council for not doing what they are supposed to do. If we are Zambians, we are shop owners, we don't see the council to do what we are paying for. Sue them when they give you an account why they are not providing the services they are supposed to provide. And this is one thing which we don't even know that we've got the right to do that. Or even parody, if you have traffic lights, they are not working and the council has not put anything in place. Accident or there's anything happening, we've got the right to sue the local authorities.
Okay, we can move on to the next photo, Mr. Producer, so that we can try and conclude. So we have hardworking civil servants there, a teacher in particular. That one is a teacher going for work, Himba, and he has to use that route to go for work. How encouraging is this?
What is encouraging here?
The man is dedicated to his work. It's encouraging that this man, honestly speaking, a lot of people will have 1,000 excuses to give why they are not going to report for work when the situation is like this. But this man in particular, he is braving every other obstacle so that he can be for work. And I'm told he's a teacher. From what I've read, he's a teacher. And his pupils were going to get a lesson out of him. Isn't this encouraging him?
There's nothing encouraging here. What is encouraging? He's encouraging us. kupita mumans like this. Is that the encouragement you're talking about? No.
So
This is not a normal
you
situation.
understand if he doesn't go for work.
No.
You understand?
No. Let's say Tapali nephew Ibikira, there's no need of even him risking his life. Because
Give
if
to
it
me if he doesn't go for work, if he was to miss work like this because of this situation, your child has gone to school, you have managed to take your child to school, and the teacher doesn't show up, and your child comes back from home from school and says, no, the teacher didn't come, and then the teacher tells you, I didn't come for work because there was rain, there was floods, this was the situation, will you understand?
I would understand. And basically, it doesn't mean because he's a teacher, he should put his life at risk. Because here, pandemona ni risk eka. Yeah, but what I'm saying, it's risky. Yes, he needs a source of living, he needs a source of income. There's no encouragement here. Because now, even if when I wake up and you teacher ba maths, is the geography teacher be willing to move like this? She's even lucky he's a male teacher. If he was a female teacher, dress now, it's floating on top of the water, and then he's literally put his life at risk. If anything happens, we already lost another teacher. Was it a few months ago? But the other idea is it the pontoon and something. These are the things which our government should put in. It should, see to it that there's pride in the lives of our civil servants, especially whatever paruro, like Panomba. They should just find a better way of just solving this situation. And I'm sure their problem ya manje. And that's why this teacher is going through. Master. So which means he's been moving. So this is not something which there's nothing motivating up. The government should come in. This is embarrassing. And why should they? And how many teachers would accept, especially a new qualified teacher from University of Zambia? That's why teachers.
3,000 teachers.
Yeah, you can. So let's not abuse our civil servants. Let's not abuse our teachers. They're doing a great job. All they need to do is that this government, let them do the right thing. Let's make things possible for the local people, not vale pitamdia. Imagine you thinking at Tontonkanya Padane. You are a woman, now Falaka sketi, just think what is happening around there. There's nothing motivating. That's a very horrible situation in which we wouldn't want anyone to be found themselves in.
I've really laughed enough on this one. Let me ask the producer, just give us the next photo so that we can try and find them. Okay, now this is another business, Himba. Let me just explain this one to you. It's a situation whereby people are trying to cross the road, and now crossing it, and someone puts up some sort of a walkway where people have to pay matukwacha to pass so that they can go to the other side where it's dry. And you see a lot of people there are even making a queue because that is the only way to pass. As pangira njira eka muntu alipisa no lipidis.
Very good initiative.
Natupitapo tunjira otutueve.
But ni initiative ya bwino yokainge. Efe nachalanda taba no bepu bale munefiko yo munapo empia. Life balance we mwine. Be creative. Failure to use common sense is an offense. So panic creativity to the guy who is seeing a disaster, and then he's also he's looking at it from a positive angle. This is sending munamwevyo. See Gordon, no one Gordon something kuja kumbuyo kuja. If you check, so this should be town. I don't know whichever town in Ghanit. Which town is this? But these are the things we are saying. The local authorities. So
it's like Freedom Way. This looks like Freedom Way again.
And this is not just a town, it's actually a capital city. And such things are happening, And then we are comfortable as Zambian people. Tiripira mataxi, tiripira chani, we are very comfortable, So we should be able to put our leaders, our local authorities, politicians. This is why we are voting for them. sitivavhotera kuti tikazienda mumanzi, sitivavhotera kuti tikaziripira vakazitipa apa. No, some things should be things of the past, you know.
At least
So
there is some improvement, Himba. I think let me ask my producer. Just give us something that just came from the Lusaka City Council, where they are telling us that they have completed works when it comes to Kulima Tower bus station, which is actually usually a problem. Kulima floods and things like that in Kulima Tower. And the Lusaka City Council is saying that the company that was contracted by them, that is Stan Investment, to renovate, expand the drainage system at Kulima Tower bus station has completed the works. So hopefully, we are hoping that that will mark the end of all these problems that we are looking at, especially around Kulima Tower bus station. Himba, isn't that good news?
It is good news, but first tindire kange vamene ava contractors ndiye vamatilekereterera notiletera vabwera vati kila shabi job vabwera ife takondwera kuti vanasiriza ntchito inasira ntchito ugwere muone fe vanachita awe kula papafi, you know. So hope they've done a good job and hope they've done a job that is going to impress everyone indeed, which is going to pantu Kulima Tower kulia kwini na kwene kufwa ingaulea kufwala magumboots olo naka boats. That has been Lima Tower for years and years, but we are told every year, no, we are working on it, and vakanso sivamisa kukolekta ndrama nganilija kudala pe kwenze the other party kwenzo ngala natuma buku yaviri ya party na ya government. So vakashita collect Kulima. Actually there were 3 kind of levies yenzo lipiriwa kukanso. Kuyenzo lipiriwa not kukanso, sorry, not 3 types of levies. There were 3 types of levies which were being paid to 3 different ports. Kwenze ya kanso yebenzo dobako twa 1 kwenze na ya party ija ya party software na yaba kange party jakuti ba commander ikasira yaba commander kwenze na yama babaja bopunda muyenda na beve balipiriwa. So these people were paying to 3 different ports, but after paying even in these 3 different ports, nothing was happening. Hope now we'll see a difference. And makanso workers vapakeko kupyanga Mulima Tower muja muma city market, muma Lumumba Road, Chisokone market, Chimwemwe market, vapakeko.
Also, Himba, we can talk of many other aspects that come around with the rain season. We can talk of cholera, which is already in Lusaka actually as we speak, before even the rains become serious. And obviously, the Ministry of Health is always there reminding us of things we need to do to protect ourselves from all waterborne diseases. That includes cholera, dysentery, typhoid, and all the others. Please, we beseech you that you ensure that you follow the guidelines that have been given by the Ministry of Health. Please, that is, ensure that you are drinking treated water or boiled water. Ensure that you wash your hands before you eat. Ensure that you store everything that needs you to eat. That is fruits. That you need to eat is stored, is well covered. That is food. We can talk of things to do with washing of your fruits and vegetables before you can actually have them. And lastly, Himba, there is also a problem of which I think I've seen it. I've read about in Lusaka, where it looks like just the onset of rains brings back lost lovers as well. You start receiving texts from your previous relationships. No, I miss you. No, I miss you. No, I miss you. Tuvula betu ngono sure.
Nishiyo ni development kange nisha balance bwino. Nga ikileta reconciliation ya nishiya wama ya balance.
Kasi ndiwe wa wrong nawe. Let's just close the program.
I mean, imbalansa yakazhinishi ibwereke mvura so that vantu vazareka noenda kuri vamwaza vamba vanhu vene juju list kuti vapaseko at lost love made juju. So nikulinda cheka mvura kakabwera I miss you naye vazayanka I do honey, where do we meet or what's your number? Zvinhu balance chapwa.
We so much thank you, everybody who was tuned in watching in this program. We hope that we have reminded ourselves on issues that have to do with the rain season and things that come along with it. We the biggest reason why we had this program is to remind each other on things to do with safety, and obviously giving you a peace of mind as we go through this rain season. Remember, utilize this rain season, it's very necessary. Please, if you have got a garden kumbuyo, plant something behind. If you've got a field, you have got minda limani bantu, please, so that next year you should not be complaining about mildew and things like that.
Wena iwe garden singa nipase unga usazinza nikalima ku garden unga nzabweza
I
iya
said,
niuze cha garden
I
nikadie
said
fresh.
if you've got fields, garden obviously it's vegetables there, and maybe to me this tosarula vija like that. So on behalf of the entire production team, and of course that includes myself and Himba on the other side, say thank you so much for watching us, and please remember to keep watching Ubuntu. See you tomorrow on politics, Ubuntu Politics. That is at 20 hours, where we are going to look at things to do with the happenings in the PF. Make a day. Good night.
Good night, and it has been nice being with you.